Good evening, Board of Trustees, Dr. Asrani, members of the Cabinet, and members of the audience. My name is Michelle Higgins, and I'm very happy to be here presenting both Dobbins and Yuba Feather Elementary. This presentation will include information from our School Plan for Student Achievement, which is our SIPSET, and this is to ensure that all students get a high-quality education. Dobbins Elementary currently has 64 students enrolled. And this may not sound like a lot of students, but this is almost 20 students more than we had last year, which is a big increase. Yuba Feather has a current enrollment of 119 students. We have a 25% SPED population at Yuba Feather. Both schools are mountain communities. We have great community support, and we are located in the Sierra Nevada foothills in just a beautiful area. Attendance is up at both schools. Dobbins currently is up 3.77% from last year with a 94% attendance, and we have reduced our chronically absent students by 15% so far this year. Yuba Feather is also up a total of 4.7% from last year, and we are improving our attendance overall by holding attendance meetings and making sure that we're contacting families when students are absent. Last year's California dashboard showed that we had a 7% suspension rate for our students, which is relatively high. We use common indicators for academic success at both school sites, including star rating in math, the CASPAS, Lexia levels, AR levels, but we also consider student suspension rates, student absenteeism rates, parent involvement, and teacher supports. Here we have our star reading data for Dobbins. And as you can see from the graph, we see a lot more green and blue, which indicates standards met or at above standard. And this is just from the beginning of the year to our October assessment. Yuba Feather is showing CAS data, so that's from last year's assessment through the state of California. And you can see here that we have a substantial amount of red, which is the standard not being met, as well as yellow, which is the standard that is nearly met. So these would be our target areas, our target students that we need to show improvement for in the year to come. In math at Dobbins, we saw a significant decrease on the the California State Assessment. However, if we look at our STAR data from this year, beginning of the year assessment, we see that we have a lot more students that are meeting the benchmark or are very close to that. Yuba Feather math data, we're looking at the CAS test again, and we see that we saw a 7% increase in the total number of students that have met the standard or are above the standard. So we're going to be working on improving that and continuing to show improvement with those students as they move up in grade level. The California Science Test, at Dobbins, we do not have enough students, so you need a minimum of 11 students in order to show actual data, and we didn't have that. So we don't actually have any data for that, but at Yuba Feather, you can see that we have a great need for improvement on our science test. We have 75% of students that nearly met the standard, which means that we have a large pocket of students that we can really show improvement on in the next year. LCAP Goal 1 is to improve academic performance. Our teachers are working hard to provide differentiated instruction, intervention, adaptive materials. We also provide through this goal our LRT, Literacy Resource Technician, and supplemental material to engage students. Goal 2 is to create an environment that addresses the needs of all students. This is really important to us up in the foothills. We have a high number of students that have trauma or have needs that are social and emotional, and we aren't always meeting those needs. So we are working to create more incentive type programs. We're utilizing PBIS methodology. We're adding paraeducators. We're adding wellness centers and wellness hubs. We are trying to provide more communication to families about resources that we could potentially offer up here so that we can support not only our students, our staff, but also our families and community. LCAP Goal 3 is to prepare every student for whatever their next steps may be. We want students to be ready for either college or career, so we're hoping to show an improved CAS scores by 2 or 3%. And we also want them to have more experience in science, technology, engineering, and math. Things like robotics and making videos and 3D animation or 3D printers. Goal 4 is to build a system of specific support for all of our learners. We are working to provide more supplemental materials through our school-wide intervention programs. At Dobbins, we're using a phonemic awareness program that is showing improvement steadily already with our students who are not reading at grade level. We also are adding paraeducators and more curriculum for our breakfast club at Yuba Feather. Goal 5 is to improve homeschool relationships. This is very important to us. We do not feel like we've had good parent involvement in the last few years, so we're really working to recruit more parents for various events that we have on campus, as well as site council, PTA, or DAC. We're providing newsletters in a written form, and as you can see here, we have our blue letter, which is from Yuba Feather. Announcements, we're printing star reports and sending them to families. And what we're hoping to see is a 30% increase in parent involvement. I can already tell you that this year alone, we have seen a significant increase in the number of parents attending our site council as well as our PTSA or PTO meetings. LCAP goal 6 is to improve access and inclusion for special education students. We are creating a system to monitor our students monthly to provide more push-in services and supplemental supports, and we're hoping to see great achievement with our special education students. Both schools have budgets that we are spending entirely. We are lucky enough to have a CSI grant at Dobbins this year, which is allowing us to improve our technology, to add additional supports that will engage students to be on campus more often. And this is why we love our school. In the center there, you can see we have our second grade class, our second and third grade class from Dobbins, and we also have our third grade class from Yuba Feather, and they all went on a field trip together, which was really exciting. We're offering lots of award assemblies and celebrating our students' achievements so that they know how proud of them that we are. If you have any questions, please let me know, and thank you.